I mean, when you see a gloomy report on television, CNN is so good at painting really gloomy pictures of the current state of the world, when in fact the world is spinning just the way it was before. There's more money than there was out there before. They keep printing it. And then everybody's worried about the money. They're worried about the swine flu. I fly a lot. You guys fly? That's, people. I see people with the masks on, walking around worried, they're washing their hands. I wash my hands. That's prudence. I check my parachute too. But I don't spend my whole time thinking about swine flu or parachutes malfunctioning, because I know, as you know, that if you fixate on what you don't want, you're not paving the way to experience what you do want. The ones that win have the ability to calm down, clear their head of all thoughts, which is a challenge, isn't it? I mean, try doing that for more than 10 seconds. I did it once for a month as part of a graduate school psych program. We meditated for an entire month up in the mountains, up in Colorado. It's challenging, to say the least. Painful is probably a better description. And occasionally blissful, and then unbelievably painful, and then back and forth, back and forth. But what I learned is that my mind is like a barrel full of monkeys. It wants to stay with content, and it wants to reflect what is out there. It wants to elaborate on what's out there. And it seems to me that if I want to be a winner, I can't look around me in the airplane and see all those nervous faces and feel the way they feel, especially when I'm the leader, because very often that's the case. Right? I'm on a C-130 filled with Navy SEALs, and let's face it, they are very brave people when they're in their context. When they're running around on the ground and they're hiding and they know how to do it, they get their radios and night vision goggles, they're in command of the situation. But jumping out of planes, different team. Very different game. Most of these guys have 100 jumps, maybe 150. I've got 14,000. So they put me in the leadership role. Imagine, a big aircraft filled with nervous Navy SEALs who don't like to talk about fear. They hate the topic. And so instead I talk about adrenaline. Or I call it the juice. When you're feeling the juice, what do you do? How do you get yourself into a focused state where you feel your best, when you're in your optimal performance state? And I remind them how to calm down. I remind them that if they sit down and relax and lean back and don't flex their muscles and don't squeeze their right and do the things that you do when you're afraid, it turns out that the body works both ways. The mind, it doesn't just go top down. It goes bottom up. Just like you hear, if you feel terrible, if you force yourself to smile, you start to feel better. You're literally sending messages, chemical messages, back up to the old brain structures that are making you all excited like this, gearing you up to act, to fight back, to run away, or to hide from danger with tremendous intensity. Why isn't the economy rolling forward nicely right now the way it was a few years ago? I think fear is relevant. And I think it's fixation upon what we don't want. It's that again. Worrying, oh my gosh, I hope my parachute doesn't open. But that worrying is creating the outcome that you were trying to avoid. Right? So how do we then wake up from that bad nightmare, wake up from what we're stuck in, this negative visualization pattern that we sort of started to believe was helping somehow by fixating on what we don't want? I'm running out of money. Oh my God, I'm running out of money. The mortgage is due. I don't have the money. Oh my gosh. Right? Who hasn't been there? Calm down. Look for a way to feel better. Just like we do in the airplane. Even if you don't have anything around you, you look for a way to feel better. Not looking in the faces of others that maybe aren't reflecting what you're looking for. Right? You look inside yourself. And if you don't see anything right here in your immediate surroundings that can cheer you up, you close your eyes and you go to some place that does. Right? You visualize the perfect unfolding of the jump. And if you can't picture that, because I've learned, and I think most people have learned, that your mood creates your thoughts. The type of thoughts that occur to you, the type of solutions that occur to you, the amazing epiphanies, because we've all had them. Once in a while, you look at the situation that others are looking at and they see impasse. They see limitations. And they're just telling the story of why it's a limitation. They're complaining about it. And you, for whatever reason, you're in a good mood and you walk into that situation feeling great and you go, oh, no, just do that. And they all go, oh, that's a great idea. Wouldn't it be great if we could conjure that more often with every problem in life? That's my point. That there is an effect from the mind that alters the way things go. Literally, I've watched my parachute open badly because I looked up at it and started cursing at it when I thought it was going to open funny. No, don't do that. Guess what it does? It ends up in a line twist. I'm going to kick out of the line twist. Fortunately, I've gotten smart over the years. I open my parachute nice and high, especially when I'm test jumping experimentals, which I do a lot of. That's another part of my career. I design experimental parachutes. I test them, and then manufacture them. I've done thousands of them. And I keep getting this reaffirming of my belief that my internal experience is not just an observation of what is, a reflection of what it is, it's skewing the future. We know that the people that are optimists, without any real ground for why to be optimistic, right? And we've all been the optimist for whatever reason. Something great happened, and then something else great happened, and something else great happened, and you walk into a situation that wasn't that great, and you transformed it, right? So how do we do that? That's my question. And of course, there's many different answers to that. But the allegiance to the mood that creates that. Right? When I go out of that door of the airplane, when I see the green light come on, when I see the red light that says, don't jump, we're over the ocean, we're over the mountains, and then the yellow light says, get ready, check your stuff, clear your goggles. Am I ready? And now I'm ready. It's not just about checking the equipment. We call it checking your vibe. How do you feel? Do you feel great? You're going into a meeting and you're going to give a talk? Check your vibe, right? Because people in parachutes, it turns out, and maybe other things as well, notice vibe. You ever ride a horse? And if you're nervous about that horse, maybe you don't trust that horse, you think scary thing, you squeeze and he feels you. And his ears go back to the thing, and suddenly you have a resistant situation that you created with your fear. So I also teach a lot of rock climbing. And I also teach, I help people with kayaking and all kinds of other events like this. And I keep seeing the same patterns again and again and again in all the adventure activities that the individual has to remember. The fear is telling you something that you needed to know. It is. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? That fear is saying you don't want something about this. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to fail in this, this endeavor, sales situation. You don't want to fail, right? You want to sell this person. Yet you walk in there thinking, I don't want to fail, I don't want to fail. You're not actually exuding what they need to hear in order to say yes, right? The universe gives to people who feel like they deserve. If they're happy, the world is abundant, and it keeps giving me more, thank you, right?